was?
Man, it was just to have another trip around the sun is a blessing. Number one, but I enjoyed my birthday. It was good to be around family. My family came down, so I enjoyed that with them. And then that was my first time on a helicopter, so another enjoyable experience. I enjoyed that, and so this my 21st. There was one to remember for sure.
It's been a while now, but I wonder if you can remember back and your feelings at the end of the Auburn game when you were on the sidelines and there still were a few seconds to go, and then at the end of the Georgia game where you didn't have to worry.
Number one with the Auburn game, that is a game that we'll all remember wearing the A. But it was all about finish at that point of the football game. We were able to score, but then our defense in return stops them, and Terrion gets nearly a pick six. So, it was all about finish at that point of the game, and then also fundamentally not getting a penalty. So that was good for us for the Auburn game. And then the Georgia game, Coach Saban talks about 60 minutes and then doing our job. And so to have that final kneel at the end of the game just goes on to holding up the four quarters that we like to do at the end of the third quarter. So there's a lot of components that allowed us to be successful in both of those games.
I asked Malachi and Dallas both about being named a captain. You were the third one, but you were also voted, I think, MVP and most inspiring player by your teammates. Just what did all of that mean to you?
Yeah, with all that, I take a lot of pride in that. I'm very appreciative to be seen as that. But with anything, I try to play for my brothers in the locker room, and I try to play for these coaches, and I try to play for the A, and I try to do it as best as I can. So it's a true honor to have all those accolades. But with everything, now I just had to take it another step and really just be the best version of myself every single day I come into the facility.
Coach Saban mentioned the first handful of days of practice here have been about getting back to fundamentals. What's that look like for you and the other quarterbacks?
Yeah, 100%. Coach Saban is right about that. And with us, we just try to fall back to our level of training and work on our fundamentals and reading things properly and little things like that. And with all of us, we just try to take our game to the next step as we have this time period before Michigan, really trying to master our game and improve and little things like that. So this is a great opportunity for our team, and I'm happy to have this time.
Two questions, Jalen. One, Coach Saban mentioned, I think a week or two ago, that the time off was really good for the team in terms of rest. So what has this time off done for your legs, one? And two, what do you think of what you've seen from Michigan's defense on film?
Number one, this is a great time period for us. Like you mentioned, this is a great time for work on our fundamentals and really hone in on our skills, and then also getting guys healthy because this is a tough season. We have a long period. We're just playing in the SEC. We're playing tough opponents, and having this time to have our bodies heal and get everybody to where they need to be at to be ready for Michigan. What was the next question that you asked?
What you think about Michigan's
defense? Michigan. The first thing that pops up on tape is how tough they play. Very tough team. There's a reason why they're undefeated because how well the defense plays together. They force turnovers. All elements of their defense play hard together, and you can see that, and it jumps out on tape. So we have a hard task in front of us, and we have to prepare the right way to be ready to play Michigan.
Yeah, I remember you said you grew up a Vince Young fan. How many times have you seen the highlights or the game of him against USC at the Rose Bowl?
A lot, yeah. I grew up watching Vince Young, and I've definitely seen that highlight. And, growing up, I've seen that highlight. So, yeah, I've seen it this week.
On the same note, the 2009 Texas-Alabama game at the Rose Bowl, do you remember watching that, and what's it going to be like to play in that stadium?
Well, we have Josh Chapman that's here, and he talks about that game all the time. So, I'm familiar with the game, and I'm familiar with how our Alabama team finished the game with four quarters, and that's something that spoke out about that game. And so I am familiar with the game and how hard it took to take the Texans down.
Jalen, the coach was on Pat McAfee on Friday and basically said that he was going to set this up like a one-game season. How have you experienced that, and how are you furthering that message from the quarterback position?
Yeah, it's all about having singular focus and doing our job. I think that's that's something that's going to reveal when it comes to playing on Saturdays, is having that type of mindset. I think that's very critical to playing these games like this, is should really just maximize every opportunity that we have. And with that, we got to appreciate the grind. We got to appreciate where we're at, because teams set goals for themselves prior to the season. And one of the goals is to be where we're at right now. So all we can do as a football team is appreciate it, but also acknowledge that we have a lot of work to do to be successful.
You guys added another quarterback to your room with Julian coming in. Just what have you seen from him so far, and what is your advice to someone going through his first college practices?
Yeah, for me, I've been in his shoes, being a freshman that coming into college, and all I can try to do is try to give him the information I've got, and really try to allow him to be a sponge for the information that I have, and be a good teammate for him. With him, he spins the ball really well. It's been really good to have him in the room and have another guy in the room. With everything, I'm just appreciative to have another brother in the room, and he's doing a really good job practicing, and he's a good dude.